Hello and welcome to Late to School, a My Hero Academia watchcast. I'm Lorena.
And I'm Zach.
And this is our talk about the themes of the season as all of it.
The whole Hero Academe.
Final lesson.
Academe would be a good name for like a female teaching themed superhero.
Yeah,
Because like Dame.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the theme.
We're going to talk about the theme. We're going to talk about the season as a whole.
Yeah. So, first, we should probably, actually talk about our feelings on the final episode, since we didn't have time to do that.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about these episodes as a conclusion to this season?
Pretty good.
Okay.
I think they work... There's parts of them that work, really well towards the themes that we've been talking about and everything. The whole final episode, for the most part, feels a lot like an extended denouement.
Yeah,
Which isn't necessarily bad.
No.
But it feels kind of unusual that, the actual conflict of of this thing that's been happening throughout multiple episodes is solved probably less than halfway through the final episode.
Yeah.
So there's still more than half an episode we have to do other shit. But I also do like that, I think.
I like it.
Because it gives us time to be okay, realistically, how the other characters are dealing with this in the same sort of time frame. Let's learn what went down, let's debrief, and also talk about injuries, because that's an important thing to talk about. How is everyone doing? And with one exception, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing pretty good. Aizawa's not doing so hot.
Well, with one exception, all of the students are fine.
Well, even 13
is mostly fine, aside from some lacerations to their back. We
didn't mention this, because I think I forgot to write it down in my notes. In the nurse's office at the end of the last episode with All Might, All Might says that he thinks he might have shortened his time frame again.
Right, yeah,
So it might, he might only have, he's hoping he has at least an hour still in hero form each day. Which, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough as it is for him. But yeah, 13 got minor lacerations, apparently. Or, well, not minor, some pretty bad lacerations. But they'll pull through. And the doctor was a lot more confident about 13 than he was about Aizawa.
Aizawa might just not have his quirk anymore.
Yeah.
He might, he could be blind.
Which is not great. But yeah, it gives a lot of time to unpack everything that happened over the last few episodes, and gives the characters time to breathe, which is good. It also gives us time to learn a little bit more about the villains in Shigaraki's breakdown in the bad guy bar, and learning that there are other people behind the scenes.
Yeah, who's really pulling the strings.
There's a man in the shadows, the master. And then also there's an additional man in the shadows who isn't even the master. I don't even know what that guy's deal is.
I don't remember who he is.
He helped make Nomu, apparently.
It might be the villain we see in the Stinger?
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. I don't remember if he's actually associated with the League of Villains.
Yeah, it's possible that,
League of Villains, quote unquote.
Which we also... It's revealed to us in that scene that, that's kind of a sham. The League of Villains is a villainous front for other villains. We learned that Nomu has been captured, but he is cooperating surprisingly well, which is troubling. This is going to Nomu's plan.
This is very, the cops have Kilgrave in their custody.
I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah.
Especially considering, again, Nomu is as strong as All Might.
Yeah,
Or stronger. Can regenerate.
Is at least more resistant than All Might.
Yes. So yeah, it feels like, it seems like a lot of it was to set up future seasons.
Yes, it's very much that. Because, the manga is, way ahead of the anime.
So I guess that, like, again, since this is a show about me learning about anime and anime tropes and stuff, I only have so many anime to compare it to.
Right.
But,
like comparing it to Sailor Moon, which was one season.
That seems like it closed off other seasons, but apparently didn't.
Yeah. Like, also, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the Sailor Moon season, the manga was over. Like,
by the time
as far as Naoko Takeuchi was concerned at the time, she had finished Sailor Moon.
Okay. But that is not true for
My Hero Academia.
It was also ongoing?
Yeah.
Or is ongoing?
It is ongoing still.
Okay.
Flip Flappers was an anime original that did not have a manga and also, like, concluded.
Yes. So, like, both of the seasons of other stuff we've watched so far have been, like, very concluded singular stories, whereas this has been, like, the first part in a larger story.
And I will say that, like, this is a thing that often frustrates me in anime, where you'll finish a season and it'll be like, it'll either be like, come back for season 2, which is fine. I'm fine with that, as long as there's a guaranteed season 2.
Yes.
Or it's like, gotta read the manga, because we're not making another season of this shit, bud. Gotta go read the manga.
That seems awful.
And I'm like, but the colors, but the sound, the voice actors, the music? I don't want to disparage manga, it's a wonderful art form.
Right.
But the music and the colors.
You don't like... This is gonna sound disparaging towards you. It is not intended that way. You don't like to read?
No.
Which is fair.
I like to read manga and comics more than I like to read, like, prose.
Okay.
But still, like, the colors.
The colors.
The sounds. The animation. The animation is so good.
Your mind.
I need to hear someone say, "You're fast."
He's fast. I'm glad I got 2 of those in a row in my very first shonen anime. But yeah, it's kind of a weird structure, but I don't know how I feel about it actually, because I like having a completed, like, it is a complete story, I guess, but it doesn't really feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even feel like many arcs got super concluded. Like, nothing is super different now from when it was, like, a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
Like, there's evidence that Deku can control his powers more if he tries.
We didn't even talk about, like, Deku, like, realizing, oh, hey, I controlled my powers when I was maybe going to kill a dude, so I was holding back a little bit, because I didn't want to kill someone.
Does he put that together?
He does,
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I don't remember when, but he does put that together.
That's interesting. And also, like, there's stuff about, like, I mean, nothing has substantially changed.
Right.
Like, all the character arcs are basically the same as they were. Like,
I mean, we know that, like, Bakugo he's not different, but he it's hard to describe, because I do feel like Bakugo has a character arc that doesn't get concluded, but does, like, change and evolve.
It evolve. I think that's mainly, like, character development in the form of, like, we learn more about him rather than, like, he changes as a person.
Yeah.
Like, but even like with the stuff that happens in the last episode, like, it's more confirmation of stuff we already knew about him. Like, he's actually really smart. And he's, like, good at doing superhero shit, except he's also an asshole about it, which misses the point of being a superhero.
Yeah.
Which is a thing we should definitely talk about more vis-a-vis the themes.
All Might has gotten even weaker.
Yes.
Which is, like, is important, because it means that, like, hey, other people have to step up even more.
Yeah.
To make up for that.
And also we see evidence that there is a group of people now who is already gonna be able to step up. Which is Class 1A.
Yeah.
We get a whole All Might speech about how this has shown them what it's like to be a pro hero.
But you're right. that there are no character arcs that, like, wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
We see, this is very much like we're seeing the start of various character arcs.
Yes. It feels very much like the,
We've gotten, like, very minor hints of Todoroki's character arc.
Yes. Very, I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah.
He's intense, and maybe reckless in some ways, which might have been what that thing with Invisible Girl at the end was supposed to be.
Maybe a little bit.
Like, hey, he was smart enough to figure all this shit out, but he wasn't smart enough to consider, hey, we have an invisible student in our class. She could be literally anywhere right now.
Yeah.
And his power is very area of effect. So that's a major danger for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, largely, like, this feels more like setup than a conclusion. Which
we do. So again, like, we don't get the conclusion of what Ida's character arc actually will be.
Yes,
but we do get like we get a satisfying conclusion to, like, him being the class rep.
Yes,
like,
yeah, that's fair.
He successfully manages to bring back backup to save the day,
right? And does so by, like, sacrificing. Because it is a sacrifice, like, narratively, it is a sacrifice for him to run away.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to do that, because he thinks it's ignoble. Ignoble,
yeah.
That's it. It doesn't sound like... No other word does that, I feel like. The ig.
Yeah, true.
And
I guess that's kind of, like, that sort of thing is inherent to, like, what this is, which is a manga that is probably going to go on for 20 years or some shit. I really hope it doesn't. I know it will, but I really hope it ends soon. Is like you can't wrap up the character arcs after, like, I think this is only 12 chapters into the manga.
Okay.
You just can't do that. You know you have so much more to go. And mangaka really love to just plan so far ahead, just infinitely into time. That's also true of, like, Western authors.
Yeah. Especially, like, comics, I think.
Yeah. The difference being, like, mangaka tend to be solo acts who have, like, them, an editor, and a publisher, and maybe a separate artist.
Okay.
Whereas comic books are, like, they're part of a structure.
Right. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily bad. I don't know if I like it as much as Sailor Moon's style of, like, here's just a very complete singular story that is part of a series of complete singular story. Presumably, like, maybe future seasons of Sailor Moon will end on more cliffhangers, but
I don't know if you want the answer to that.
No, I want to experience it myself.
That's fair. Or Flip Floppers, which is, like, a complete story.
Right, yes. Which even Flip Flappers, it has, like, an ending that is, like...
There could have been a second season.
Yeah, like, and the adventure continues.
But there didn't need to be.
Yes. Because, like, because the conclusion there isn't, like, oh, they can't go to Pure Illusion anymore or anything. It's that they have developed as people, especially Coconut, has, like, the situation has changed in all these characters' relationships, and now we're in a new state, and now we are going forward in this new state. And that's, like, I guess that's almost what we get here, but not really, because, again, there's not much of a new state, except for, like, the students have fought supervillains now.
Which isn't, like, that's not a conclusion, that's, and let's see what happens now that they've fought the supervillains.
Especially because, like, we see the development of that, like, what that is doing to them through some character that I can't, there was some character, I think, that was an important thing, but I can't remember the name of the student.
What happens with them?
They have an arc within one of the episodes in this big fight about being, like, braver, basically, and fighting.
Oh, you're thinking of Deku.
No, not Deku. No, not quite.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it wasn't Deku. I mean, Deku does have that. It was some... Yeah,
that's weird.
I can't recall.
Deku has definitely grown.
Yes.
Like, as a person.
That's true. Like, especially, I do like, this is a subtle change, but it is a change that I do appreciate in Deku's character arc, which is him going from charging forward, like, on instinct to save people in danger, especially people he cares about, to being fucking terrified, which is admittedly also all of the other times, but being terrified and making the conscious choice to fight to save people.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And he doesn't in the final episodes here. He doesn't get much in the way of like the Deku moments that are really good with him, like figuring, like just sort of quick thinking, like using his experience with superhero stuff and like using his tactical thinking to get through a problem, like just to loophole his way through a problem. He kind of just runs at things and punches them.
Yeah.
And also that I think that's fine because that doesn't fucking work for him.
It doesn't work, no.
It goes really bad for him. It helps. It like because him charging on Shigaraki and Kurogiri distracts them long enough that they can't deal with All Might before the other heroes show up.
And also, I think it's like, it's in Deku's narration about how, like, we finally saw the true face of evil and whatnot is important to consider in, like, he hadn't considered how bad villains were until now.
Yeah.
Like, he had read all these stories about heroes fighting villains and, like, beating them up and being heroic and triumphant. And, like,
he did save a kid from being killed by a villain.
Right. But he hasn't really thought about, like, the villains as, like, people and threats who could win.
Right, yeah.
Which,
because that's not, because that's true, because even, that's barely even a thing in his thought process when he saves Bakugo from the Slime Man, because he just can't stand seeing, I mean, he feels guilty for one thing, because he knows that All Might can't help because of him, and he also just can't stand seeing Bakugo die, so he just on instinct goes to fight it. He's not, like, really concerned about Slime Man as a threat in terms of, like, whether or not he could win.
And he's never seen anything like Kurogiri and Shigaraki, really. Like, it seems like that type of villain is not something he's done a ton of research into, or if he has, again, he focuses more on, like, what did the hero do to win?
Right, yeah. He cares, he focuses on heroes and not, like, necessarily how to beat villains, just how heroes win, which is there is a distinction there.
And so he doesn't know what to do about Shigaraki and Kurogiri.
Yes. They really are, and also they're too fucking scary to, like, spend too much time just contemplating. And also, they move really fast.
Yeah.
He's fast.
Their speed. You're supposed to be the fastest thing alive.
That's not anime.
That's not, well, are you sure?
Maybe it is.
Get ready for our next season, Sonic X.
You know what?
We
might.
We might.
We could. Oh, it's actually interesting to me how the one who does get a Deku moment like that is All Might.
Yeah,
Because his whole thing, like, he figures out a way to overpower Nomu that in part is, like, not just him going beyond plus ultra. It is like him figuring out he can't withstand my attacks completely. And he can't withstand, like, a bunch of attacks all at once. And that's cool. Yeah. For one thing. Like, that supports the theme in part. And also, this is kind of me shifting into themes, I think. Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Do we have more I wanted to say about punching?
I think we've said all we can about, like, these last episodes as an ending to the season.
Well, yeah. But, like, theme-wise, the fact that, okay, All Might does a really fucking cool thing to beat up Nomu and send him flying out of the USJ. And all the students are like, what the fuck? That was awesome. Bakugo's like, so that's how a pro does it. And like, everybody's like super impressed by that. And Deku...
Even Todoroki.
Yeah. And Deku isn't.
Yeah.
He is just concerned.
Yeah.
Because, and like, as the smoke clears and we see All Might, he's relieved. And like, All Might smiles at him and gives him the thumbs up. And talks about how it took 300 mighty blows.
Mighty blows.
And I really love that because it feels like that combined with like, and also like that making Deku cry. And also that Deku knows this has fucked him up severely. Like, All Might is holding on as best as he physically can. And that in combination with the thing with like All Might focusing on like saving the kids and protecting the kids from the villains rather than just straight up defeating them. Is very, I think, in line with the theme of like the fact that All Might could do that to Nomu isn't actually the most impressive thing. The most impressive thing is that All Might is constantly risking his life.
Yeah, there's a point, we didn't mention this also, before Deku, like, breaks his legs leaping to try to protect All Might, All Might seems like he's basically accepted, oh, I'm gonna die. I'm going to die right now, but at least the kids are safe.
And, like, that is the impressive thing. Because, like, that, like, he talks about in the very first episode, or the second episode? I can't remember.
It's early.
That is what it means to be a pro hero. Like, that is the most important part of it, is being willing to risk your life to save others. And I really do love the, sort of dramatic irony in all of the students mainly being impressed at All Might. Like, he's so strong, he's so powerful. But he is weak at this moment. And
there's also that with, like, Shigaraki, who's like, oh, he's not weak at all. What the fuck? He's still really strong.
And that's so good. That, like, works so well. I think, like, just the fact that, like, everybody respects All Might as, like, a very traditional Superman figure. And then Deku is the only one who knows the actual, like, important shit that All Might is doing is that he is risking his life to save them.
Everyone else is like, oh, All Might is good. He could, like, no one has even considered the possibility that All Might might die. Except Deku, who knows that it's super possible. And also All Might, who has accepted it at this point, as long as he can keep people safe. Which is extremely fucking good. Like, that is exactly the narrative I... Like, okay, it's a super... It's a super generic superhero narrative. But it also... It's not the most generic superhero narrative, because the most generic is probably, like, very, very old school, like, Golden Age Superman. Yeah, like absolutely no risk at all. They're super powerful and can take out the villains with no problem whatsoever.
And might even just be kind of assholes. And, like, that's not... They're, like, old school superheroes are very... They feel very... People compare superheroes to Greek gods and stuff all the fucking time, and I get so tired of that comparison, honestly. But in the case of, like, super old, like, stuff, it's very accurate to compare them to stuff like Hercules and...
Yeah, like Greek heroes.
Because they're, like... They're kind of assholes who are not impressive necessarily for why they do things. They're impressive for the things they do. I don't know, like, if I can even think of any, like, there are very few superhero stories in mainstream media at the moment that feel like they fit this mold of, like, extreme self-sacrifice. Yeah, that's fair.
There's the bridge car scene in Amazing Spider-Man is this, and that's a very cool scene.
Right.
But, there are very few Marvel movies, and I say this as a fan of Marvel movies.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, this is not a drag or anything.
Uh-huh.
Although I guess it being a drag might attract more fans.
Uh-huh.
But you don't get it. Like, there's
Yeah.
not a lot of that in those movies. Like,
there's maybe a bit with Steve Rogers and how his deal
in First Avenger, definitely, but there's less of that in Winter Soldier and Civil War, I think.
Because like Winter Soldier and Civil War become more philosophically focused, I think.
And Winter Soldier is like basically a spy movie.
Yes. Winter Soldier is a spy movie, and it's also about surveillance and like government secrecy and stuff. And
unintentionally about the alt-right.
Yes. And
crypto-fascists.
And Civil War, in addition to being a vessel for just a bunch of semi-arbitrary character drama, is mainly about, like, an ideological conflict of government oversight.
Mm-hmm. There is... I do see a bit of All Might in Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up, like,
especially in Iron Man 2, where like they are like very explicitly dealing with the fact that he has PTSD,
right,
and anxiety attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And Iron Man 3 also has a lot of like him being like, ah, shit, I feel like garbage, but I have to be a superhero.
Mm-hmm. And there's also something to be said for that version of Iron Man's, I mean, most versions of Iron Man, the semi-disability metaphor that they have going on, which is that, I mean, like, in fairness to those movies, it's barely even a metaphor. Like, he
literally doesn't have a heart.
Yeah, he doesn't have a heart. He literally needs a machine to live.
Is that fucking Tin Man? Is that what they're doing? Is he the Tin Man?
I don't think that's quite it. Okay. I think it's a sexier version of the original Iron Man concept, because
is that not in the original Iron Man concept?
I don't think the heart thing with the core and everything is in the original Iron Man comic book. The thing with Iron Man is just he has to wear the full suit of armor all the time.
Oh, okay.
Because like if he doesn't, then he'll die.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty definitely, like, a disability thing.
Yeah.
And you also have the disability metaphor with All Might, who is, like, becoming weaker and weaker, literally, I guess, has a prosthetic stomach.
Yeah,
I think All Might is I would probably say that All Might is a more effective deployment of that stuff. Just because, like, I never cried at an Iron Man movie.
I guess that's fair. Okay, I see what you mean, yeah. I was thinking, like, metaphor-wise, like, he feels less in the disability
camp. The disability stuff, yeah.
Because his disability is for him as a superhero, and it only affects him as a superhero.
I was talking more broadly about, like, the self-sacrifice.
Yes, okay, yeah.
The being depressed
for sure.
Stuff.
Mm-hmm. And hell, like, even most of my favorite Marvel movies don't have much of that theme.
Yeah.
Because, like, Captain Marvel is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies, and its theme is just be a hero because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, like, Black Panther's themes involve, like, radicalization and oppression and, like, borders. Like, not necessarily, like, literal geographical borders, but the borders, the societal and, like, systemic borders between nations, and, like, whether those are ever a good thing. Spoilers, they're not.
And I'm one of the 3 people in the world who like the Ant-Man movies, and I like them because they're heist movies.
Right, okay. But yeah, like, it feels like a generic metaphor, but maybe that's because this is, like self-sacrifice should be fucking, like, baby's first superhero metaphor, right? Like,
yeah.
Because that seems like the obvious thing, but I guess not a lot of stories actually do that.
I will say, we don't read comics.
That's true, yeah.
Like, we have a lot of friends who read comics, and they don't really mention this stuff coming up, but I don't know for sure. I'm sure, like, it exists.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure it exists somewhere. I don't know how prevalent it is. If someone who reads a ton of comics came to me and was like, "Hey, it's super prevalent. It happens a lot,"
okay,
I'd believe them.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just don't know.
Yeah.
But in movies and like TV shows, I guess there is some of this in Jessica Jones.
Yeah, it's not even just like literally sacrificing your life, like in danger. It's sacrificing your normal life. Like Jessica doesn't want to be a hero because she doesn't want to feel obligated and like also have people know about her and judge her. Whereas like she has like a foil in the form of Trish,
who wants to be a hero.
Yeah,
extremely.
but also isn't super prepared for it, maybe.
Right, yeah. But yeah, like, it feels generic, but I think the fact that it isn't is part of why it works so well.
Yeah. It's
very obvious, but you don't see it a lot.
Yeah. Like, especially I think it accomplishes it very well.
Yeah.
Like, it's like very direct about it without beating you over the head with it, I think. Like, which also, for the most part, I don't mind when things beat you over the head with themes.
Super don't mind.
But also it sometimes it can feel ham-fisted, I guess.
Yeah.
But All Might is ham-fisted. Because he's got fists the size of hams.
He sure does.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Although, his hands are still pretty big and skinny for him.
That's true. God, he's so weird looking. But yeah. What the fuck was I saying? It's good. It does themes good.
Yeah.
Themes good show. Show good. Show have good themes. Themes good.
There's also, like, there's a push back against, like, Deku wants to get stronger, right? He wants to be as good as All Might. He wants to surpass Kachan. But there's a pushback against that. Because Bakugo wants to be the strongest pro hero in the world, and he's a fucking asshole.
Yes.
And, like, All Might is the #1 hero, and he seems to accept that role as the symbol of peace, and, like, he's always smiling to make sure that people feel safe. He wants people to see his reassuring smile and feel safe.
Yeah.
That's the thing Deku says, but I'm sure it applies to All Might as well.
I mean, he basically said that in different terms.
But it doesn't seem like All Might is, like, reaching to be stronger and stronger. He needs to train, and he's upset that he's getting weaker. But he doesn't want to be a pro for the sake of being a pro.
Yeah. He wants to... If he wants to be stronger, it's purely so that he can continue helping people.
Right.
Like, he is, like, the ultimate... Okay. So Deku, protagonist, like, Bakugo is our obvious foil to him. Like, he is the opposite of Deku. Deku is weak even when he has his quirk. He's like, it breaks him, but he wants to be a hero purely out of altruism.
Right.
And purely because he respects what heroes stand for so much.
Yes.
Bakugo wants to be popular.
Bakugo thinks he deserves to be a hero.
Yes.
He was born with a really good quirk, and he thinks, so I should be a pro. I should already be a pro right now because of how good my quirk is.
And I, like, All Might, for the most, like, feels like the perfect overarching character for both of them, because he's a combination of both of them.
Right.
He's incredibly powerful, and he's already incredibly well respected. Like, everybody loves him. But he also does what he does purely out of altruism, and purely because he wants to save people.
Right.
And it's important to... It is very important that our... Deku's establishing example of All Might's superheroism, and also to an extent our, like, establishing example of All Might is not him fighting villains at all.
No, it's him rescuing people.
Yes. And rescuing a fuck ton of people also, which is also important because he is not only super altruistic, he is also incredibly powerful.
But also, like, he, like Deku, was not born with his quirk.
Yes.
He was given it.
Mm-hmm.
He probably earned it, much like Deku, by showing the person who had it before him that he had what it takes to be a hero.
Right.
That he was altruistic.
Uh-huh.
Which I think is important as also, like, a contrast to Bakugo, who doesn't even seem to care about, like, the idea of saving people.
Uh-huh.
He wants to use his power to fight villains because villains are strong, and his power is strong, and he will be famous.
He's fucking Meta Knight.
Yeah.
From Kirby. He would wake up a sleeping, like, very powerful villain just to fight him.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I like, those three characters form the, like, perfect fucking triangle for the foundation of the show, I feel like. And then also we have sort of a nega triangle with Shigaraki, maybe Kurogiri, but definitely Nomu.
Uh-huh.
Like, Nomu is not a character. Nomu is a force.
Right. Uh-huh.
Like, he is a threat.
I feel Nomu isn't a real person. But I do still kind of feel bad dehumanizing Nomu.
Yeah,
because,
that's
like,
fair.
I don't remember what how Nomu was created exactly.
Uh-huh. It's probably not good for him.
No, and they are a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know where Nomu starts. Like, I don't know if they were born. I don't know if they were a normal person before getting, like, captured by the villains.
Or if they were just grown in a, like a vat.
Or I probably do know that, but I've forgotten.
Right.
But either way, even if they were, like, grown in a vat, it's fucked up.
Uh-huh.
And I feel bad for them.
Yes.
Because they don't seem to know any better.
Right. Uh-huh. Like, this is literally all they've known is trying to kill All Might, it seems like.
It's notable, like, that may be, like, them just following the police's orders may be, like, they don't have any loyalty to Shigaraki. They're just doing what they're told.
Yeah, that is possible.
I don't know why I'm using they. Because they are gendered.
Yeah.
In the show. But I guess it's not a problem. I don't know why I'm making a big deal of this. Sorry.
He.
But, like, within the narrative, Nomu is a force of nature that exists for All Might to overcome.
Right. And to that exists to threaten All Might in the minds of the audience and the characters. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I hadn't even considered the possibility that, like, it's possible Nomu is cooperating with the cops purely because, like, Nomu takes orders, and that's just what Nomu does.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who's giving the orders, probably as long as it's not All Might.
Yeah, probably.
If those claws were supposed to represent Nomu, the claw marks on the poster, because, like, we do see Nomu in the bad guy bar when we first see Nomu.
Just sort of sitting.
Uh-huh. And so it's possible he has been trained to hate All Might.
Yeah.
Which would make sense.
Yeah, definitely.
But, like, Shigaraki, how we, like, talked about, Shigaraki is the negative Deku. Mm-hmm. Not in the way that Bakugo is already the negative Deku.
Right.
Shigaraki is, like, seemingly weak. Mm-hmm. Maybe not in power terms.
Definitely not, because
he like, fucked up Aizawa real bad.
And it seems to be implied that, like, if Shigaraki had gotten his hands around someone's face, they would die.
Yeah.
They would just disintegrate.
Uh-huh.
Or they wouldn't, like, their whole body probably wouldn't disintegrate, but, like, whatever, everything in their head would disintegrate.
Yeah, which would be bad.
Yeah.
Also, I never said, my theory for the hands was thinking they might be parts of former victims that he takes as trophies, that he just, like, petrifies and then cracks off. But I don't know if that's how his power actually works. I don't know if he could petrify something without, like, disintegrating it.
It doesn't seem like he petrifies.
I mean, it adds a shattering effect to, like, Aizawa's skin on his elbow.
I think that might be stylistic.
Okay.
His skin disintegrated.
Right. And
presumably also, like, the tendons and bones in his elbow. Because it was fucked up and bad and he couldn't use it.
So I don't know why he's got the hands, actually. I think my theory doesn't really hold up.
I think it's the skin thing.
Why would that...
The hands are, like, constantly touching his skin.
To keep him from itching?
Yeah.
That Okay.
I could be wrong.
That doesn't... I feel like that would make it worse. I feel like... it seemed like he kept chafing against them on his neck, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if there is an explanation.
But yeah, like, he is within the, like, order that we have suggested, is... suggested to us, is pretty low level, it seems like. He's he's medium level.
Yeah.
He's
above the mercenary villains that they had. And he's seemingly above Kurogiri, although they might be like on similar levels, but Kurogiri is just following orders because why argue?
Right. Kurogiri might be too polite to like sort of try to force his own agenda on Shigaraki. And also there is also the thing of him, like, he always refers to Tomura Shigaraki as that. So I feel like that, I mean, I'm assuming, because I don't know how names naming manners work necessarily in Japan, but I'm assuming that means, like, he is intentionally sort of putting them on the same level by always just referring to him very formally as his full name.
Yeah, possibly. I also have no, like, knowledge of that.
Okay.
But he's below the master.
Yeah, and he's, like, not even calling him by his, like, last name, which is also formal.
Right.
But he's, like, it's always the full name.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're both obviously below the master, and there's also that other guy.
Who's probably also above
Shigaraki, but below the master.
Yeah.
You don't tend to have a master who's below someone else in the hierarchy.
Unless it's a grandmaster.
Would the... Wait. Oh, unless there's a grandmaster above the master, you're saying. Okay. Fair. That'd be fucked up if we get a bunch of shit about, the master revealed as the mastermind behind everything, and then it turns out, no, there's another man behind the man. There's a grandmaster.
Yeah.
Fucking, we supernatural now. Just fucking throw in Satan's third cousin, Terry, who is now the enemy of the main villain of this season.
I don't want you to tell me if that's real or not.
I mean, it basically is, but it's Metatron.
Okay. But yeah, like, Shigaraki is he's not weak, but he is definitely, like, he probably could not stand up to All Might in a one-on-one fight if All Might was not weak. Like, if All Might was at full energy, he could probably just yeet Shigaraki into the sky with one punch.
Which is another show we need to watch at some point, probably.
I have not watched it, actually.
Okay.
I would need to watch it myself first, which I could do. Yeah, though. You're right.
But and like, Shigaraki is also, like, emotionally fragile, it seems like.
Yes.
Like,
True.
Much like Deku, he is... I mean, Shigaraki doesn't cry that we see.
Shigaraki's emotions are violent.
Yes.
In nature.
And he has panic attacks, it seems like, and, like, mental breakdowns. And he's very focused on succeeding, and does not like when anything gets in the way of that he wasn't planning for.
Right.
And as soon as there's a wrench thrown in the plan, he fucking breaks down and hates it. And he's rage
quitting.
Yes.
To use his own video game metaphors. Like, he loses once, or he has any sort of setback in the game, and he's immediately like, fuck this game, I'm out, I'm doing something else now.
And it seems like the Master then fills the role of the anti-All Might in that situation, which you think would be Nomu, but...
yeah, well...
In this, for Shigaraki as Deku analog, the Master seems to be his All Might, in the sense that he is the one who is, like, literally he reassures Shigaraki when he's having, like, he's like, yeah, no, it makes sense that you're sad, it's okay. But it's not all bad. I think the Master's motivations are not as pure as All Might. He is very clearly reassuring Shigaraki just so that he can continue to use him. Sure. But he also, like, he is comforting Shigaraki to what extent he is comforting him altruistically, like All Might does. And also, he is expecting Shigaraki to fill his role.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much like All Might, like, giving Deku his powers so that he can, like, become the worthy successor of One for All.
Right. Absolutely, yeah. I think you're right on the money there.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
This isn't really a theme thing, this is more a plot thing, but, like, it's unclear yet what the Master's motivations are.
If we can take anything Shigaraki says at face value,
right,
and also, like, sort of piece together from things the Master does say, they want there to not be a symbol of peace.
Right.
They want to create some sort of, like, aura of fear over normal people.
Yeah.
It's unclear why they want that.
All Might, it's like to this regular citizenry, All Might is Superman. To villains, he's Batman.
Right.
He's a source of fear for villains.
And Shigaraki seems to have some sort of personal, like, grudge and desire for vengeance against All Might that isn't fully explained.
He mentioned his father.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Bakugo is an inherited hero, if Shigaraki is the son of a villain.
Yeah.
Like a...
Wait, Bakugo isn't the son of a hero?
He's not the son of a hero, but his thing is, like you said, like, he thinks he deserves to be a hero because he of his powers.
Right. Whereas Shigaraki is like, I need to be a villain because my father was...
Yes.
And was harmed by All Might in some way.
Yeah, it's not clear, like, exactly how. Or if that's even necessarily what happened, if it was All Might.
Yeah, true.
Or if All Might is just, like, literally a symbol. Which I also do like that theme. That the fact that they have set up that recurring theme of symbols. Yeah. Of how, like, the Master literally says that Shigaraki will be a symbol of his own. Like, Shigaraki being the anti-All Might. I mean, they call Nomu the anti-symbol of peace. Right. But Shigaraki himself acting as, like...
Well, again, it's like All Might training Deku to be his replacement. Right. Eventually, Deku will be the symbol of peace.
Yes.
Is the plan.
Right. So, Shigaraki is in line to be the symbol of war. No.
Strife?
Strife! I like that. Yeah. Love to use the word strife.
Probably fear.
Fear.
Fear is the thing.
Fear and injustice. But yeah, that's really interesting to me, because that, again, is... that... How do I put this? That's not a generic superhero theme, but it is a thing with superheroes, is symbols. Yeah. Like, superheroes as symbol and symbols associated with superheroes.
Right. Like, literally, Superman has the S on his chest. Yes. Batman has the bat.
Okay, Man of Steel is a bad film. Prefacing that. But I do like how literally they have a thing about Superman's symbol isn't an S. It comes from, like, Kryptonian armor, and the symbol just means hope. And it just happens to look like a English S.
I respect your opinion, but I cannot agree.
It's funny. It's interesting to me. I don't know if it's necessarily
that for me. That's a ham-fisted thing that I don't like.
Okay, that's fair. But it's like that's a thing that, like, superheroes touch on a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the theme of symbols, even if they're not doing it intentionally.
Yeah, or like aren't like really talking about it. Yeah. It's just a thing that kind of happens. I'm sure. Again, like, there's probably some stuff that does.
Right, yeah.
I mean, Man of Steel is trying to.
At least in that, like, scene. I do think Man of Steel cares a lot about the idea of Superman as a symbol. Not necessarily in a good way, or in a way that's well written, but it does care. And I think it especially shows up in the kinds of superhero stories that both of us are probably the most familiar with, which is adaptations of existing superhero narratives.
Yeah, because those have the legacy of, like, Superman has been in the common knowledge.
Yes.
He's like, everyone knows Superman, like, basically from the moment they're born.
Yes.
So you can play around with the fact that, like, everyone knows the Superman S.
Yes. And not even just the S, but, like, superheroes as symbols.
Right.
Is, like, literally when you're adapting a superhero narrative, you are just taking the symbol of that is that hero and adapting it. You are making alterations and deciding, like, okay, what is the fundamental aspect? What does the symbol represent? Like, what does Batman represent as a character? Is he mainly about, like, fear and violence against criminals, or is he mainly about protecting people? And or is he an escapist fantasy? Is he, like, in the Arkham games, is he just very fucking cool? And, like, because the Arkham games run on the fact that it is fun to be Batman, because Batman has a ton of cool shit that he can do.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And, like, that is, I mean, that's super interesting to me in those narratives anyway, like, just, like, especially when it goes wrong, actually. Like,
the disconnect between what I think is the core of Batman as a symbol, and what fucking Batman versus Superman thinks is the core of Batman,
and how
is
people
frustrating, but it's interesting.
Yes, because it becomes like you end up having certain heroes who are taken as symbols for superheroes when you want to make a narrative about whether or not superheroes are good. Which is very much like what Man of Steel and Batman v Superman are going for, I think. Because fucking Snyder has that whole spiel about, like, Batman kills people because there are no more heroes. Which is I think a bad take.
Yeah.
But, like, it is a cynical take. But it interests me as far as, like, superheroes as a narrative convention are something that are, like, really diverse and have so much tied in with them. And back to the anime we were talking about.
Right.
I think touching on that idea directly is a really smart move for the show.
Yeah.
I think the show is very good about being about superheroes.
Yeah, I agree.
In the sense of, like, dissecting what does it mean to be a superhero?
Right.
What are the important values that superheroes have? And what do superheroes represent literally and metaphorically and just in general?
It's a show that loves superheroes and is not, like, either a reconstruction or a deconstruction. It is just straight up a superhero narrative.
But it does explore its premise.
It's still willing to, like, consider its premise and the history of the media that it is pulling from.
It seems good at, like, world building a setting that has superheroes as an established, like, part of a world. But that also, like, that's largely background. Like, that's not the show isn't necessarily dealing with it's not a I was about to say it's not a sci-fi show.
It's not dealing with the
ramifications.
Yeah, that world exists as a backdrop. It's not. The show is not going to really talk to us about the politics of superhero licenses.
Yeah, but it is very much like a show about superhero. Like, again, not deconstructing or reconstructing superheroes, but just superhero. Just like, what does that mean? What's superheroes? Yeah. It doesn't. It's not really about are they good or are they bad? Because like even a reconstruction is about that question.
Yeah, it's like the show has decided superheroes are good.
Yes,
and that's fine.
The question becomes like what makes a superhero good?
Right.
Which is like the question that like Deku, All Might, and Bakugo are the reflections of how like Bakugo is a super powerful hero, but he's also a very bad superhero. So it's very cool. And again, the symbol of peace thing, the in-universe acknowledgement of that, of like in-universe, people look to All Might as a symbol, and All Might prioritizes his identity as a symbol over his own safety, even. And that's mainly depicted as noble, but also sometimes you have things like the principal chewing him out over, like, hey, you can't be the symbol of peace if you fucking die.
Yeah, for sure. Is there more you want to say about this stuff? Because there is one topic I think we should also discuss separately from this.
I don't think so. I think with those themes, it's hard to know exactly where the show is going with them yet, because again, the first season doesn't feel very... I mean, it feels like a finished first season. It doesn't feel like a finished story.
Right.
So we'll maybe learn more about that when we return to other seasons. But it's very interesting to me.
So this show has a lot of characters.
Yes.
There are a lot of background characters. There are, like, the characters in Class 1A are framed as being very important.
Yes.
Although that doesn't really hold true, at least in this season, for a lot of them.
Yes.
Like, Hagakure is literally invisible.
He's literally invisible and doesn't do anything that we see.
Sato is there.
Mm-hmm. He does the most important thing in the episode, which is he calls Nomu Birdbrain.
That's true. What do you think of them, though? Like, do you have any opinions about any of these characters?
I think I do. I largely like what they add, I think. I think a lot of them are adding, like, reflections of the themes of the show, like, in some way. Like, reflections of the theme of superheroes, at least.
Okay.
One of them is, sadly, very important to the themes, but I don't want to talk about him at all.
What? Okay, what do you have to say about Mineta?
Mineta is, like, shitty Deku.
Okay.
Because his whole thing is also, like, learning to be braver. Like, trying to help people, I guess? Maybe just being braver for the sake of it.
He just wants to fuck. That's all he wants. I don't even know if he just wants to touch a boob.
And he also has, like, a power that seems useless, but proves to be pretty useful when you use it in the right circumstances.
Right.
And he kind of has a whole narrative about that in that one episode. But he also just sucks.
He sucks.
I can't care about his arc.
He's also, like... Mineta is a pervert who is gross to women. He is also non-threatening, and whenever he's gross, those women beat him up. Which is... not realistic. Because to be clear, not saying women could not beat up perverts.
No, yeah.
But they
generally don't because society frowns on that for stupid reasons.
And there is a trying to soften Mineta by like, oh, he's gross, but he's not, like, really a problem.
Harmless.
He's harmless, and he's not.
He's not.
And dudes like him in the real world are not harmless. Like, they very much are not harmless.
Like, we it was cathartic for us to see Tsuyu try to drown him. But that's because that could only happen in fiction, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it could happen in real life.
Yeah.
But it generally doesn't, because when that shit happens, the girl is the one who gets in trouble.
Right.
Because the guy was being harmless, quote unquote.
Right, exactly.
I just tried to I didn't do air quotes. You can attest to that, because you were here.
I can.
But I did try to do them with my voice.
Yeah,
Anyway.
It does feel good to see a cool lady beat up this shitty pervert great boy. But also, it is, I think, his existence and presence as a non-threatening, gross great boy is... I don't want to say sinister, but
I get what you mean. Yeah, it's reflective of, like, some really bad real world shit that, like, this kind of character, like, normalizes in a really harmful way. And I think you did literally call Mineta a soft boy.
He basically is,
and that's exactly it.
Also, the fucking mangaka has said that he likes Mineta because Mineta is, like, his perverted side.
Cool.
Apparently Mineta has been getting, like, just showing up less and less and less in the manga.
Cool. I hope that's a reflection of character development on the part of the mangaka.
Yeah. But yeah, he sucks.
Uh-huh.
There are other characters that are cool, though.
Yeah, yes. So, like, I really love Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Sue is great. I feel like everybody loves Sue.
Everyone fucking loves Sue, because she's the best.
Sue is great because Sue, I don't know if Sue does tie into the themes at all.
Right.
From what I can tell. Maybe as I talk about her, I'll figure something out. But Sue has a very silly power.
Mm-hmm.
That
her
is
power is she's a frog.
Uh-huh. That is also extremely useful.
Yeah.
And also, she's super smart, but, like, not an asshole about it. Like,
right.
To an extent, Ida.
Right.
Ida, again, has gotten better and less assholey.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she's never even, like, Yaoyorozu levels of... Like, because Yaoyorozu feels very confident.
Yeah,
Except Sue doesn't feel unconfident.
Right.
She feels like this isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, Sue is just chill.
She's just pretty chill.
Like, Sue, like, largely doesn't give much of a shit about anything that's going on. Her emotional responses are very subdued for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, even when they're in imminent danger, she, like, keeps mostly the same tone of voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much of that is her voice actors can only do that frog voice in that one tone of voice.
No, I will say that, like, she gets some stuff.
Okay. But, like, she's really smart. She is apparently, it seems like, the closest to figuring out Deku has one for all.
She's, like, she's almost there. She just needs to put the pieces together.
And it's not even a thing she's actively trying to do.
Right.
Whereas, like, Bakugo is like, what the fuck is your deal? Like, how did you get like this?
And Deku literally tells him, he doesn't say one for all, but he tells him that he got his power from, as a gift. And Bakugo is like, that's fucking stupid, bro. That's fucking stupid, you damn nerd.
Whereas Sue would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, she wouldn't even be surprised by it, I don't think. And Sue is also, like, she's also just super cash, just all the time. She wants everybody to call her by her nickname. She hates being called by her last name, it seems like.
Yeah, I think in the Japanese it's that she specifically wants to be called Suyu.
Okay.
But, like, in English, we don't have, like, calling someone by their first name is super casual, so they, you know.
Isn't her name Suyui? Or am I missing?
No, it's Suyu Asui.
It's Suyu Asui, okay. So yeah, I like that she's just chill. Like, she's coasting by like Bakugo, except not being an asshole about it.
Yeah.
She's very entertaining. I don't know if she engages with the themes very much, but she's great to watch.
Yeah. And sometimes you need a character like that,
yes,
you know?
Absolutely. Like, not every character needs to be, like, tied into the themes.
Right.
Like, there can just be fun characters. Especially because it does feel like maybe the class is so big because it's just trying to reflect a real Japanese high school class.
Yeah, sure. It's even, like, smaller than a real Japanese class would be. Also, real quick about Sue, I like that she's not just a joke. It could have been very easy to just be like, oh, she's a frog, and that's it. That's all there is. But she's also, like, she has that other stuff we mentioned.
Yeah, she's got a lot of personality.
Yeah.
And then, like, Totoro...
Unlike Naval Laser.
Naval Laser has a personality. He just has sort of one point in it.
Yeah.
Naval Laser is entertaining, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially that last line with him being like, do you know where I was? Where? It's a secret.
Naval Laser is maybe... you could make an argument that he is similar to Mineta.
Yeah.
In that, like, he is a non-threatening flirt.
It doesn't feel like he flirts that much.
He calls people mon chéri a lot.
That's true.
But, like...
He mainly seems like his thing is being a self-absorbed prick.
Yeah, true. Which, like, self-absorbed pricks are annoying, but usually aren't actually a threat in real life.
Yeah. He's not actively harassing people.
Yeah.
Or assaulting them. Mineta.
Like Mineta does do.
But yeah, he's he's at worst just bored. He's very much like, actually, okay, here's the thing about Naval Laser, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like both Naval Laser and Mineta are the primary comic relief characters in the class.
Yeah.
Like maybe the invisible girl whose name I will never remember.
Hagakure.
Hagakure. Like, Hagakure is, like, kind of, like, she has joke lines. She has funny stuff mainly to do in this season. But, like, she doesn't feel like a designated comic relief character.
Yeah.
I feel like...
Kaminari is also pretty comic relief, but he gets a lot to do, at least.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And Mineta gets a lot to do, but,
Yeah, that's the thing, I was gonna say. It feels like if they should have had Mineta be It's a Secret, and fucking Naval Laser could have gotten some arc shit going on. Like, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
That because Naval Laser is an asshole, but not a fucking... He doesn't commit sexual assault.
That's basically what Mineta has become in later seasons. Like, he gets, like, one pervert line every so often, and that's it.
Okay.
He hasn't really done much in a while.
I mean, that's kind of good. I wish he was just gone, though.
Yeah, he could just go away.
Or develop as a character, maybe.
Yeah.
But also, that could be handled really poorly, too.
It really could, yeah.
I can't see a version where the same people who make the
Deku, I'm just sad, because all the superhero girls want to have my babies. Because of my cool quirk.
Because of my crest.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, he's so vain.
He's so vain, but he doesn't fuck.
Let's be fair, neither does Sylvain.
I want to believe that he doesn't, but he does.
I don't think he does. Okay. I don't believe that.
Anyway, Naval Laser is fine.
Naval Laser's fine. Todoroki is really interesting. Because, again, it feels like they're doing something with Todoroki in particular. I don't know if it's just they decided one of the other students was, like, the one that has one of the most powerful quirks. And just built the character out of that, and, like, his place in the narrative is based on that. That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're doing something with him. I love Kirishima. Kirishima is so cool.
Yeah, I like that he's not, like...
He's also chill, but in, like, a cool hothead kind of way.
Yeah. I still don't love non-toxic masculinity, but it's better.
Yeah, I do. I love non-toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
I think, like, there are multiple aspects of this show that fall under that, like, tie into that. Like, All Might himself is very much
that is true. I do love All Might.
Like, his whole thing is, like, super macho, super buff, super manly.
I want All Might to be my dad.
Yeah.
And to teach me how to play baseball.
But his whole thing is, like, caring about other people and, like, having a dad relationship. Like, he cares about other people, and he also, in particular, has a very personal relationship with Deku that is very...
Like, the fact that Deku's dad is out of the picture is very convenient.
Yes.
To make All Might his father figure.
But yeah, and that's a part of what I like about Kirishima. I like that he's masculinity is a theme for him, but he's also, like, just fucking chill about it. Yeah. Like, he's like, he wants to help people. He does understand enough to know that Bakugo threatening to blow up Kurogiri is, like, not super heroic, my dude.
He also has a crush on Bakugo, though, so he's like, it's Bakugo.
He has a crush on Bakugo, but in the fiction way, considering I think he was also the one to call Bakugo's personality garbage.
No, that was
that was Kaminari. Yeah, right. Right, I forgot. That's another reason I love Kaminari, because he's just like, God, fuck this guy. Fuck Bakugo. Oh my god. But, like, Kirishima's cool. Kirishima is, like... I feel like Kirishima is the non-toxic friend that Bakugo needs to prevent him from just fucking radicalizing.
Pretty much. We should talk about Ochako and Ida, since they're basically...
Yeah, they are actually major characters, huh?
They're Deku's, like, two friends.
Right. The two friends you get in anime.
They're Yosuke and Chie, except what if Yosuke wasn't a gross pervert homophobe, and instead was, like, a kind of annoying but still cool buff smart boy who run fast.
Tell me how you really feel about Ida.
I love him. He's my son.
I wish Uraraka got more to do.
Yes, absolutely. She gets some cool stuff, like she gets stuff in the mock battle that is cool, like...
And she gets her moment with...
She wins.
Yes.
She is the reason they win.
She gets cool stuff with Ida, helping Ida escape the USJ in that fight. Which
is also, like, foreshadowed by her helping him.
Yes.
Calm down the stampede.
Right, yes. They literally even, like, explicitly call back to that.
Yeah,
It's interesting, like, Uraraka feels so, like... Uraraka feels like a trope of a character.
Yeah.
But, it feels like... Go ahead.
She's the love interest.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I was going to say.
The show is very clearly setting her up as, like, the girl Deku likes. But it at least gives her... She's mostly separate from Deku.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Most of her, like, with the exception of the mock battle, I mean, both mock battles, because, like, with her thing with the robot with
right,
Deku.
Yes, yeah.
Deku saving her and then her saving Deku. Most of her stuff has been with Ida. Like, her and Ida get the most sort of screen time together.
Right.
And the most, like, events that tie them together because of things like, I mean... Uraraka and Ida ask the most questions of each other.
Yeah.
Especially Uraraka asking questions about Ida in, like, the cafeteria scene. And also the stuff with her helping him in the hallway scene, the emergency exit scene, and the USJ escape.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like, that's the thing, is Uraraka feels like the love interest character, but most of her major contributions to the plot so far haven't actually been tied to Deku. I guess, like, half of them. Like, half have been tied to Deku and half have been tied to Ida.
Yeah.
Which makes me really like their relationship a lot, also. It, like, engages me with Ida and Uraraka's relationship. I do really hope in future seasons that we see more of Deku's relationship to the both of them.
Yeah.
Because, like, right now it's mainly just, like, you know, they're friends.
They're friends.
They're just generically friends.
Yeah.
We don't get much of, like, the Sailor Moon thing of, like, here's an episode... We've introduced Ami. Here's an episode about Usagi's relationship to Ami.
Yeah.
We introduced...
Ray.
Ray. It's been so long.
She's your favorite character.
She's my favorite character, but it's... I kept wanting to say Mars. She has two names.
That's true.
Here's the episode where we introduce Rei. Here's where we explore her relationship to Usagi. And how toxic and fucked up it is for right now.
Here's the episode where we introduce Mako. Wait, like, 5 more episodes for the episode where we explore her relationship with Usagi.
Which kind of works in an episodic show like Sailor Moon. Whereas this show is a lot less episodic.
Yeah, this show is not episodic at all. It is very much like...
It seems designed to binge, which makes it fucking really hard for me when I have been watching episodes, because I keep wanting to be like, occasionally I will just be like, man, I'm bored. I want to, what if I watched My Hero Academia? Which is a good sign that I really like the show. But also I'm just like, shit, I can't do that. I gotta wait till Sunday.
This show is basically like the way people erroneously, I think, talk about Netflix shows as being like 13-hour movies.
Yeah, okay.
This show is a 7-hour movie, basically. Or it's several movies, because it is several arcs.
Yeah.
But still.
It's a couple movies.
Yeah. Which is fine. I think that's a valid way to structure a TV show. I don't have a problem with it, really.
I will say, I did want to add... Speaking, while we're on the topic of plot structure, I wanted to add, I did the math. The USJ fight takes up 31% of this season.
Great. It is important.
It's important. Yeah, like, it's a culmination of shit so far. And also, okay, like, half the fight is a culmination of shit so far, and shit so far includes the first half of the fight, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't talk about Ida much. I like him.
He's my son.
He's
my big smart son. He's fast.
he ties into the themes as well with his arc in this season of him being like, him having sort of a warped idea of what it means to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Except when occasionally he does really get it. Like when he goes into full villain mode in the mock battle, that's him like... I mean, that's a reflection of him being studious.
Yeah,
like,
true.
But like...
Ida understands like the theory of being a hero very well.
Yes.
Like, he has he and also like he comes from a line of heroes. So he like knows that he has to be a hero basically.
Yes.
Like Bakugo, he's like, oh, I'm already a hero.
Right.
I just need to finish schooling. But unlike Bakugo, it doesn't feel like he feels like he deserves it.
Yeah, he's not entitled, he is obligated.
He's obligated, yeah, absolutely.
He feels like he has a thing to live up to. Which again, like, that also ties into the thing of, like, of Deku's themes with trying to live up to One for All and up to All Might's legacy.
Deku feels obligated in several ways. Like, he feels obligated because he thinks he should, like, people should help people.
Yes.
He also feels obligated because All Might put his trust into him and gave him the power.
I do love that like, fucking Deku's relationship to Bakugo is the epitome of, I don't know how to explain to you that you should care about other people.
Basically. Whereas Ida feels obligated because he comes from a line of heroes. Like, yeah.
He has to live up to the Ida family name.
Right. He has not yet made the connection that, like, he should feel obligated to help people because helping people is good.
Right.
He does feel obligated to help people.
Yes.
But that's because that's what being a hero is.
And it comes across really in, like, very interesting ways when he is, again, like, trying to be class rep, like, feeling bad about not getting to be class rep, and then, like, earning the spot of being class rep, in part also because Deku didn't want it. But, like, it especially is really cool when it's, like, he feels bad at the idea of leaving 13 and the other students alone in the fight against Kurogiri, even though he would be running to get back up, because he thinks that if you're a hero, you stay and fight.
Right.
That's what heroes do. But 13 as a character, in part, and, like, the USJ as a setup, and, like, the themes of the show, are in part about, like, no, fighting is not being a hero. Saving people is being a hero.
Right. Fighting is a means to save people.
Yes. Which is cool. Like, that's again a very cool theme, and Ida reflects it super well. It's like, it's not a long it's not a prolonged or highly conflicted arc for him.
Right.
It's really just like one moment of conflict probably for him, but it's good. It works super well.
Yeah.
It's all he really needed.
Right.
To be that. And then I guess there's other students.
It's such a shame because, like, most of the students do not get a ton of spotlight and are sort of just in the background.
Oh, no, hang on. Yaoyorozu.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Yaoyorozu and Uraraka are the two female characters who get a ton of screen time.
Well, Sue also.
And Sue, right. But, like, a lot of the boys get a lot of screen time.
Yeah,
Which is frustrating.
Literally all of the characters who are in the midst of the main villain fight in that last bit are boys. Yeah. Like, it's just Deku, Bakugo, Kirishima, and Todoroki.
And All Might.
And All Might, yeah. You could so easily... Because, like, I was talking about Kirishima, I like the non-toxic masculinity thing. Bakugo, I think... No, we've talked about Bakugo could be a girl, but I think maybe Bakugo needs to be a boy. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because a part of Bakugo's whole thing is toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
I don't know if intentionally, but...
It adds to him, I think. You could have made Todoroki a girl.
Todoroki could have been a girl easily.
It seems like Todoroki could have easily been a girl. You would maybe have to do some work to differentiate a female Todoroki from Yaoyorozu in the terms of the roles they fill.
Probably.
I mean, the Yaoyorozu isn't that powerful in terms of her quirk. her strength is intelligence. Like, her strength is, like, she knows the theory again. Like, and is very observant. Mm-hmm.
And also like, her strength is intelligence. She literally knows, like, the molecular code of various objects.
Yeah. And, Headphone Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Jiro gets some screen time, but, like...
She's very cool.
I like her, like... I like her aesthetic. I think that's the thing with most of the characters, is, like, I like how they look, and that's all you mostly need for, like, largely background characters.
Right.
For a superhero thing. But these are major characters in a way.
Yeah.
So I would like to know a little more about them. We get some personality on Bird Boy.
Oh, yeah, Tokoyami, yeah.
And...
I will say that, like, a lot of these characters do get stuff later. But...
in terms of how they are right now.
Yeah.
It's largely limited.
Mm-hmm.
In ways that I don't think are, like, bad or unfinished.
Right.
It's just, there's not much to talk about there.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is kind of unfortunate, because they are, like, so many of them are such cool characters. Mm-hmm. It's so weird that one of the ones who feels like he gets the most dialogue is Sato.
Does he? He doesn't feel like he does.
His dialogue is very brief.
Yeah.
But he gets a lot of lines, it feels like.
That's
especially,
true.
Like, fucking go emergency exit. Like, he gets good lines.
Yeah.
Again, hey, Sato! Just, what a way to introduce yourself. But there's cooler characters in this class, I feel like.
Yeah.
I would have liked a little...
It also, like, there is stuff to differentiate Sato and Kirishima later, but right now, they're kind of just, they're the big tough boys.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Kirishima is a less big tough boy.
That's true.
He's less big. Is Sato's quirk just strength? Or...
it's strength with a specific caveat and requirement.
Okay.
That I don't want to spoil because it's funny.
Okay. He's just like Raphael. He just needs to eat all the time. Not the turtle. The guy from Fire Emblem Three Houses. So yeah, I'm interested in the students. I like them. I want to know more about them, I guess. But they fill a good role here. I also, Tailboy is good.
Yeah.
He's also kind of chill.
Yeah.
Also, Aizawa.
Oh, right, yeah, Aizawa, yeah.
So his role in the USJ fight seems to largely be getting damseled a little bit.
Basically, yeah. Like, he opens the fight by showing off, like, oh, damn, that's what a pro hero can do.
And then he gets warped to show what these pro villains can do.
Yeah, pretty much. Which I think is fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, and it also, like, it shows, like, us that Aizawa isn't completely an asshole. He still wants to protect the students.
Sure. It also maybe, like...
It's also hot.
It's also hot. It also, I think, maybe contributes to some aspects of the themes that are explored in the USJ fight specifically. Which is that, like, Aizawa fights completely solo and gets his shit wrecked. Which, like, feels very much like the antithesis of, like, Deku's whole thing with Tsuyu and someone else, probably. About figuring out, like, we have to work together to get through this.
Yeah.
And they get through the fucking villains without a scratch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not the same villains that beat up Aizawa, but...
Deku breaks his finger and thumb.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really come up again.
Yeah.
I guess he's just dealing with it.
Yeah, pretty much. And he has another hand.
Yes. Deku has two hands. For Uraraka and Ida.
Yeah.
But, like, it feels like Aizawa does sort of represent the themes there. Aizawa doesn't get a chance in this season, it seems like, to reflect on what happened.
Right, yeah.
We may see that in the future, and I would like that, because I would like him to maybe think, oh, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
That kid, I was like, he's got potential, but I would send him home in a fucking heartbeat if I didn't think he did. kind of fucking was super important
Mm-hmm.
in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the thing, like, everything with his fucking thing about being rational and, like, being very practical sort of doesn't get much of a follow-up.
Right, yeah.
So maybe that'll get more follow-up in the future? I don't know. I don't know how much major of a character 13 is going to be. It feels like not, but
yeah.
I like them, and I'm glad they're not dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I do also really like what they contribute to the plot.
Yeah.
Which is, like, a sort of bespoke character for representing the theme I talked about earlier with All Might, which is fighting people isn't heroism. Mm-hmm. Saving people is heroism. Mm-hmm.
And also, like, they serve the purpose of, like, a thing they say explicitly, which is having a quirk that can kill people,
mm-hmm.
to explain that, like, hey, be careful.
Yes. Be careful, control your powers.
To explain to the students as characters, hey, be careful. And to explain to us as the audience, like, heroes have to be careful.
Yes. You gotta do that Hulk math.
Right. What?
So it's a thing in some Hulk comics that, the Hulk, because sometimes in a comic you can't have the hero do a kill on people. So the Hulk, who, you know, is super strong and can break down walls and shit, because he's also Bruce Banner, is capable of doing on-the-fly mathematics in order to calculate the physics of throwing people and shit, so that he doesn't actually kill anybody.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And also, Nezu is, I don't know what Nezu represents, but
he's just a fun little man.
He's just a fun little man. He might be a dog, or a mouse, or a bear.
He's definitely the principal.
He's definitely, don't get it twisted. He's for sure the principal.
He's definitely the principal. Don't know anything else, really.
Don't know much else. We know he knows All Might, very personally. He knows All
Might, yeah.
Probably because he taught All Might, I imagine.
Possible.
Was principal when All Might was a student at UA.
I don't remember the explanation for that.
Also, All Might's boyfriend. We meet at the very end of the last episode, who's a detective, his fucking Commissioner Gordon, who knows about One for All.
Yeah.
Is presumably the hero, not the hero, the friend he mentioned.
Right, yeah.
That one time when he said that there was a guy who knows about One for All. Which means, like, not only does he know about, like, All Might can't sustain his shape the whole time, because not everybody knows about that, not all the other heroes know about that. No, the other heroes know about that.
It seems like most pro heroes and all of the faculty
yes.
are aware that All Might cannot maintain his muscle form constantly.
Yes.
Basically no one except for the 4 people he mentioned know about how he can pass on One for All.
Yes. Which is super interesting. Like, I want to know more about their relationship. I want to know, like, how they met, like, what's his deal? Are they dating? Listen.
No, I know.
Detectives are better than beat cops, for one thing. In principle, at least. I mean, ostensibly. Beat cops are a useless concept, and detectives are probably something we do need societally.
Yeah.
Whether or not as they exist now, they're good is certainly up for debate. But fiction is allowed to have the occasional good cop.
I know.
You know. I just want to preface.
Yeah. I'm just saying all we know about him right now is he's a cop.
Right, okay, yes, that's true. We know he's a cop. He's the All Might friend. He knows about One for All. How'd that happen?
Yeah.
Like, I want to know how that happened. There's not much more to say about him. He's an enigma.
Yeah.
They introduced what feels like a pretty major character in the plot of things in, like, the last 5 minutes of the last episode of season 1.
Gotta pull you in. Gotta keep you wondering.
Stay tuned
for season 2.
For season 2 of My Hero Academia. That's All Might.
I'm gonna win this thing. Is one of the things that, like, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of voices at the end.
Who was that?
I don't remember. It was probably Kirishima.
I think Bakugo said something shitty.
Yeah.
As he's wont to do. Anyway.
We haven't really talked about the animation. And I feel like it's an anime, we should talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
There might not be much to say about it, but I'm curious, what do you think about it now that you've seen the whole season?
It's fucking cool.
Okay.
The fucking fight scenes are rad as hell.
They're really good.
Like, not to be a boy on main, but like this fucking shonen have good fight.
I like
good
the
punch.
fight.
I like big man do big punch on big bird man.
I like the fight scenes because like they're very well animated, but also there are like very good emotional stakes.
Yes, and, absolutely.
Like, the narration and internal monologuing over the fight scenes does a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
If those scenes were just quiet with just the fight scenes, I probably wouldn't like them.
Yeah, although I mean, for the record, also music in these last 2 episodes, fucking kick ass.
The use of music in this show is absolutely astonishing.
We didn't get the rap song this time, but we got some good fucking songs.
I think the instrumental song that plays when All Might is fighting Nomu is You Say Run.
Okay.
Which shows up a lot in the show.
Okay.
I don't have like the details of the song on hand, but it's very good. I love it. Given that the show's opening theme changes every season, it's basically the main theme of the show.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of a shame. I really like the opening theme in this season. I hope I like the next ones
most people don't, but I do.
Okay. But yeah, the animation is like, it's so beautiful and colorful, I think. It's very fluid.
Yeah. Actually, there's a thing I noticed, and it's I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, on some versions of the show, I think the ones that stream on Crunchyroll, and on Funimation's own website, certain bits of like very fast animation are tinted, like the lighting, basically the screen brightness goes down.
Real okay,
which is an anti epilepsy measure.
Oh.
Which is cool. It's cool that they have that.
Yeah.
But the home video releases
don't,
and the version on Hulu don't.
Oh.
Which is like,
that sucks.
It makes the fight scenes better to watch for me, a person who doesn't have epilepsy.
Right.
But I don't need that.
Yeah. I don't need that, as my enjoyment of the program is not better than someone not dying while they watch the show.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's both a cool thing the show does and the shitty thing the show does.
Yeah, that's a shame. I would like to see that.
Yeah,
because even like having not seen that version of those fights and everything, I don't know what it necessarily looks like.
Right.
But I feel like that would even be like a more intensifying effect for me. But it could be. I don't know. I would need to see what those versions look like. But that sucks.
Yeah. But the fight scenes are well animated.
The fight scenes are well animated.
And very fluid and good.
Yeah. Like, all the animation feels very fluid for the most part. Even, like, not in a fight scene. Like, there's just good animation in general.
The show, like a lot of anime, knows when, like, they don't need a ton of animation.
Yes,
they know when to use still shots, when to just, like, have shots where only the characters' mouths are moving, basically.
Yeah,
And then they break out the more fluid animation when they need it. Absolutely need it. Which is good. Like, I like it. A lot of people criticize anime for that, and
it's like
on one hand, I get it.
Yeah, I get.
But also,
I mean, here's the thing: if you're watching a live action thing, people don't move all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
and also, anime is already a bad industry with a lot of crunch in it.
Yeah.
And anything to lessen that is good in my book.
You don't want to have situations where you go, like, animation situations where you go, like, fucking mocap people in video games. How, like, you're just a fucking undulating flesh ghoul that just your mouth and face never stop moving at any point.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, oh, it's like showing off, it's good animation, I guess. But also, people's faces don't do that.
No.
But yeah, the animation is super good. I love how colorful and everything is. Like, it's a good superhero aesthetic show.
For sure.
Like, I also it's a good superhero school aesthetic show, because also I love shit like that fight for All Might in the USJ. He's just in slacks and a button-up t-shirt, which is also kind of hot. But
okay. I don't.
You can't. You've said I think that you can't find All Might hot because he's your dad,
right? And also just his hair and his face.
That's fair. He's a very angular man. That's fair.
Well, in his muscle form, he's very round, but like the level of detail on his face.
Yeah, I was saying his face has a lot of angle. I feel like his face is very he's got a chiseled face.
That's true.
It's all the sharp like shadows that draw so much contrast.
He's just also too big.
He's very big. What about Small All Might? What about Small Might? Small Might.
He's still my dad. He's still my dad.
He feels like more of a he's in Small Might form. He's more of a sitting on the couch watching football dad, and in All Might form, he's more of he's up and he's got an apron on that says "Kiss the Cook," and he's grilling hot dogs
for sure on the grill. Yeah. But yeah, like you get like this My Hero Academia does a good job of like, everyone has superhero costumes, but it's they don't have to show up all the time. Which people complain about in like superhero movies, but I like a lot.
Really? Okay.
I like when superheroes do fights and they're just in like their normal clothes.
I do like when that happens at least occasionally. I like when there's at least a couple fights where they have the thing that irks me in superhero movies is when they have the suit on, mask off. Like,
that's fair.
It's a good aesthetic at certain moments for sure.
Yeah.
Like when you want certain like character beats to land, you really do need that. But like the masks are so cool.
When it gets to the point where Captain America literally doesn't even have a mask anymore, it's just gone.
But he still has the fucking like suit, basically. Like the armored suit. In the movies, it's armored anyway.
The thing I like about the Spider-Man, or at least Spider-Man Homecoming, I haven't seen Far From Home yet, is that he keeps the mask on for most of the movie.
Okay.
It still comes off towards the end, but,
That is helped a lot also by them deciding to, like, making the conscious effort to make the mask emotive.
Yes,
I imagine.
For sure.
Which is a very good touch and very, like... That's a thing people need to be more open to just do, I feel like. Just, like, even if you don't, like, explain, like, hand wave it with, like, the mask is mechanical.
Right.
Like...
I don't think Spider-Man even does explain
I think it does.
that way. Does it?
Yeah, well, at least that's how it's explained in Civil War.
Oh,
like, it does, his eyes, when he focuses in, do make little clicking noises.
Okay.
Like, it's part of the advanced suit design that Tony gave him.
Okay.
But, like, you can just not do that.
Need that.
Just CGI white over Batman's eyes, please.
Please, God.
I don't need to see his eyes. The
Batman costume looks so bad when I can see his eyes.
Or do what the Batman Telltale game did and make that a mechanical thing.
Yeah,
like you can just make it a little screen.
Yeah, for sure.
And then if you can customize the movie and pick whether his eyes are yellow or white or purple.
God, that game is good.
It seems very good. Anime.
But yeah, I do like superhero costumes.
I like superhero costumes. The superhero costumes, it's also helped by, I think, the premise of My Hero Academia, that, like, there is nothing about masquerades in this show, it seems.
No one has a secret identity.
Like, with kind of the exception of All Might, but, like, his secret identity is just... We don't even know his secret identity, for one thing.
Yeah, we
don't know his name.
We have not heard his name yet.
And his secret identity is just Small All Might.
Right.
And
like, people don't know Aizawa, but they, like, that's because they don't know Eraserhead either.
Like, Eraserhead is not a well-known hero because he fights in the shadows.
Right.
Eraserhead is the Batman, I think. He's sort of the Batman character.
Mm-hmm. We don't know, like, 13, but they're a black hole, probably.
Yeah, probably. I guess we don't get much about the pro heroes, but, like, for the people we do know, which are the students who are planning to be pro heroes, like, Ida has a mask, but that's just because it's tradition in his family. Uraraka doesn't have a mask at all.
No.
Or I don't think
she has a weird, like, helmet with a, like, visor.
Does she? Okay.
But it's gone. It's just not. She doesn't wear it.
Okay. Like,
no one wears their masks to the USJ.
Okay.
Which I guess is them being like, I want to wear my costume, but Professor Aizawa said that, we might not be used to the costumes. I just won't wear the mask. That's fine. That's good enough.
Compromise.
Yeah. Sato wears his mask.
That's true. Yeah, Sato wears his mask. Actually, wait. Yeah, Bakugo doesn't wear his mask to the USJ.
No, neither does Todoroki.
Or Kirishima.
Or Ida.
Yeah, huh.
Sato is the exception.
That is odd. And yeah, it's like, they don't need secret identities, because, like, being a pro hero is a celebrity status thing.
Yeah, and it might not even be legal to have one.
Yeah, right.
Because you need a license. Like, I think there are vigilantes in the world. There's literally a spin-off comic called Vigilantes.
Oh, really? That is about, like, illegal superheroes?
Basically, yeah. Okay. But it does not seem to be common at all.
Okay. Which also, that is a very interesting thing, I think, I want to say, is the choice to make it so that, like, secret identities are not a concern for this show. Like, that's just really interesting to me. Like, with the exception, again, of All Might, who is... I mean, there's multiple reasons why All Might is a special case. He is probably... If you did enough digging on All Might's files, like, as a person, you could probably figure out, hey, something's weird here.
Right, but that stuff probably is not publicly available.
Right,
for the most part.
But yeah, it's just interesting that, like, because secret identities are such a theme in so many superhero stories that it's interesting to see a story without them.
And most things make a big deal out of, like, breaking that.
Yeah.
Like, I Am Iron Man is a big moment at the end of the first Iron Man movie. But this show just kind of doesn't. It just, like, it presents a world where secret identities aren't really a thing. And you just go with it.
Even in a story like The Incredibles, like, The Incredibles also has secret identities as a thing, even before the Supers ban. Which doesn't really make a ton of sense before the Supers ban. Like, it seems like a convenience thing so that people don't know who Bob Parr is afterward. Right. Like, that doesn't seem to make much sense, does it? Like, but also, I think in The Incredibles, superheroes aren't government. Like, superheroes, there is no superheroing license. Right. It is purely, like, just a totally acceptable form of vigilantism. I think I might hate The Incredibles world building. It's so bad.
Welcome to our The Incredibles watchcast.
Here's the thing.
Welcome to our The Incredibles dunkcast.
This show has a lot of things in similar with The Incredibles as a premise, but does them good. Like, yeah, I agree. Quirks are just a thing pretty much in The Incredibles.
Yeah.
But, like, again, it's just a thing people know about. Why is there secret identities? Like, what do you have to protect? Except, again, you're a vigilante. Except, again, that's accepted.
Yeah,
It doesn't... The Incredibles is a bad superhero story. Listen, you can like the movie. It's a good movie. I don't think it's a good superhero story,
That's fair, yeah.
Because it's... Objectivism plus superheroes is the worst combo.
It's a better spy movie than it is a superhero movie.
Yes, absolutely. It's a shockingly good spy movie, actually, I think. You're right. But yeah, like, I feel like this is the anti-Incredibles for me when it comes to superhero, like, not reconstruction. Right. Because My Hero Academia is not interested in reconstructing anything, because there's nothing to deconstruct in the first place.
Right.
It is just like, it is starting from a premise of superhero good, and then continuing what makes superhero good.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, like, The Incredibles is about, is superhero bad? No, superhero good. Which is not, again, necessarily a bad thing. It's just how The Incredibles does it.
Yeah.
In a very, such a self-serving way on the part of the superheroes. Like, not at all about the shit that this show is about, like, which is altruism and saving people. It's just about reaching your destiny or some bullshit. Bakugo would love The Incredibles.
Yeah, for sure.
Bakugo would look at people banning superheroes and be like, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Yeah, I like My Hero Academia, I think.
Okay, cool.
I really like superheroes in general, and it's a good superhero show. I like Deku. We haven't talked about Deku, but I like
Deku. We've talked about Deku throughout the show.
Yeah.
I really like him as a main character, especially as, like, a male main character who is emotional.
He's got big Steven Universe energies.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, again, everybody take a drink as I compare an anime to Steven Universe.
As we've mentioned before, like, we will return to the show. We might even return to it immediately after Sailor Moon, just because there's a lot of stuff in season 2 I want to see your reaction to.
Sure.
But as always, thanks for listening. You can find me at Lorena27 on Twitter,
and you can find me at Frylord Zarek on Twitter,
and you can find the show at late_school.
And thank you to Soichi Sakagami for the use of the song True.
You may have heard these words before,
but perhaps it's time someone taught you what it means
to go beyond
plus ultra. Plus ultra. Shit. Try again. You did go beyond. We're good there, I think. Okay, so on 0.
Okay.
Plus ultra.
I think that was good.